Like climbing back into the wrestling rink after being thrown out moments before. I'm back for an encore whether you guys like it or not. First video we got out the gate here today. This is a Canyon driving video. You can see they got the nice 360 cam on the back of this white car here. But you'll see as they start to come into this first corner, they get dealt a bit of a surprise that they got to deal with. Very, very close call here. Honestly, great reaction by the POV car. You can see him really get into those brakes and slow the car down and bring it all the way over to that right-hand side, getting as out of the way as possible from this Civic that's obviously completely lost control here. Really good reaction on him, honestly. Pretty impressed with that. As for the Civic, hard to really break down what exactly went wrong here for him. Obviously, he was going way too fast for the corner. That's what kind of caused him to go out of the lane like that in the first place. But everything kind of happens so fast as he's coming around the corner. I have a couple ideas as to what could be the cause of this, but I'll just kind of rifle through them here, and you guys got your own opinions. You guys are free to decide on what you think the cause was for yourselves. But having him go so far out of the lane like this and then having it turn into such a dramatic out-of-control spin, especially in a front-wheel drive car such as this Civic, really means that whatever caused him to spin wasn't throttle related. It was more so momentum related. So he, like I said before, he came into this corner way too quickly, started to understeer a bit, probably started to lose traction and leave that inside lane, or well, for his direction, inside lane. Probably started to panic, which obviously fair, there's a car coming. And so I believe he must have either very abruptly jumped off of that throttle pedal, which would have thrown all that weight to the front end of the car, making that rear end really light. And while he's turning through the corner, probably turning the wheel a little bit extra from being kind of panicked about the situation, probably lifted that rear end out and had that car start to spin around there. Either it was that sharp lift off of throttle, or if they're set up neutrally enough to where that lift off oversteer wouldn't be what caused that spin, then I would say that it must have been he started sliding out of the lane, as I was saying, from carrying too much speed, and then while carrying too much speed, got too heavily into the brakes, and getting into those brakes too heavily did the exact same thing of making that rear end really light while he's turning in that steering wheel, causing the car to spin around. Very lucky that nothing bad came out of this, especially if this Civic knows this road. I mean, obviously this is inexcusable regardless, but even if the Civic knows this road, really sloppy job of driving to that point where you got into such a dangerous situation like that. And honestly, huge props to the white POV car, really just being super eyes up and really quick on that reaction, getting out of the way. That was some good eyes up driving from him. This is why it takes more to stay in one lane. Using both just shows lack of discipline. That's a whole other separate can of worms, but I disagree with his comment entirely. I don't think this guy was intentionally driving out into the other lane. We can watch it back here real quick one more time, just the start of this loss of traction. See, he already is losing traction while still on that double yellow line. I really don't think this was an instance of him using the entire corner like it was a racetrack going end to end. I really think he was single laning and just carried way too much speed into the corner, made just a misjudgment, and instead of being able to kind of ride out that speed and recover and get back into his lane, obviously, unfortunately enough, this car was coming, so he had a bit more of a emergency panic reaction, which caused that spin. I really don't think that this guy was double laning. It really doesn't come off that way to me. I think he just misjudged the speed for the corner, and reacting to try and get away from the oncoming car was what caused the spin. This video starts out really quick, so I just rolled straight into it. I didn't want to talk through any of the activity there. But once again, very similar to that first video. These people are coming into the corner, kind of misjudging what they're about to do, kind of unsure of their driving, and then really just checking up the speed mid-corner, losing control of that rear end, and then eventually having the accident they have. This one here seems extremely avoidable. Right as the video starts, you can see that those brake lights are already on in the mid-corner, so assuming that they're already kind of going at a quick cruising speed, which for this car up front, it seems like it's just, some old, Accord or something, I can't really tell. Especially for a car that's not really set up for that kind of driving, could have very old, outdated shocks. That weight transfer could be really bad, feel really uncomfortable. So he grabbed those brakes in the mid-corner, probably felt that rear end lift up a little bit and got scared about it, and just started overcorrecting the steering. You could see he kind of was just sweeping left and right there. Fucking sounded like a creeper about to explode the way I was just grabbing S's there. But yeah, you can just see the car start to just wobble back and forth. He's throwing it one way, throwing it the other way, just overcorrecting before eventually getting to the point where the car is sliding straight across the road. And he does, unfortunately, hit that embankment and screw up the front of his car. This is the moment right here where my life would flash before my eyes. I would hit that embankment, feel that tilt, look straight down that cliff, and just know I should have done better with my life. This part of this accident is the most insane by far to me. Heading back to comments from people I see that make zero sense, we've got this one right here, which I can't even understand where this type of thinking comes from. It just feels like the need to be argumentative just to be argumentative and not just understand what happened. Saying, really cool of that Ram to be riding too close. First off, not to be the car police here, but that's definitely a Subaru. That's definitely not a Ram with a gigantic hood scoop while also being as low to the ground as this family sedan. Or coupe, whatever. But also on top of that, that makes no sense to me at all. Like, I don't even know how you would come to that conclusion of cars being there are cars on the street, and cars will be behind other cars. That doesn't let's go back to the beginning. Obviously, he's not super far behind, but he's not in this guy's back seat asking him to adjust the air conditioning. He's just behind a car that's in front of him. I don't know how you could possibly put fault on the POV car for the guy in front losing control. Alright, so we've gotten a bit more in-depth on this now. We've opened up the replies, and I'm actually even more confused than I ever possibly thought I could be. So, this guy here, God bless him, is on the same page as us, going, what are you talking about? To which they reply, if the white Ram we see going off the left side is driving way too close, they wouldn't react in time to this. Frankly, very slow accident. Now I'm going to play what they're talking about here. Whoa. Now, maybe I'm speaking chess and this person's speaking checkers, but to me, it just really looks like the truck just happened to be behind, and that was the nearest available place to pull over to get out and help or ask if they're okay. It really doesn't seem like they had a big reaction and dove off the road. It doesn't seem that deep to me at all. I don't even know where you get this perspective from, but congrats or I'm sorry on finding it. Honestly, I kind of like that these videos are popping up for me that I can share here because it is a genuine problem and it does teach a good amount about weight transfer and kind of showing what happens if you do the wrong thing too strongly. So something, this is kind of a teachable moment for you guys that I hope can help someone out, or if you already knew that, hope it can help you feel validated. that when you're driving through a corner, you just want to make sure that you're keeping that weight nice and even. If you are obviously in an emergency situation where you do need to brake, nice smooth pedal application, nothing too sharp and scared, because that really is what throws that weight to the front end and can cause these moments. Now, rounding it out here at the end, we have what is probably the most annoying video by far. I had to listen to this with sound on, so you guys are going to have to as well. But don't worry, I'm not going to subject you to the full duration of it. I will step in here and there to give a bit of a palate cleanser and kind of get us through this together. Right off the rip here, before we even get into any of the extremely dangerous stuff, obviously this already is dangerous. We're cutting up traffic on the freeway here, which is the dumbest form of racing this era of mankind has ever come up with, where instead of going to a track or driving a canyon road, we instead take all those obstacles and just make them innocent people trying to live their lives. I don't want to drop any names or anything, but this was a planned get-together for content. So as much as it sounds like the guy's freaking out, I do believe he, for one, maybe kind of hyping it up a bit. I mean, he has every right to be scared for his life. Frankly, he should be more scared, to the point where he didn't even get in the car with this guy. But he knew what he was doing. Both of these guys create content. The driver of this car, if I remember right, don't quote me on this, may have been arrested for eventually being caught on this street racing stuff. But just starting off here, we have the streamer kicking, screaming, wailing right off the start, and then the guy driving just drops the cringiest thing I've ever heard someone say. He goes, "You're going viral, baby," which, frankly, if I heard my driver who's cutting it up on the freeway say that I'm going viral, I'm jumping out the window. Me hitting the highway at 80 miles an hour with just my pure body would be way less terrifying than whatever this guy's about to do next.
Squeeze! No, 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 squeeze! Squeeze!
So as you can see, this guy keeps yelling squeeze here. No, he's not yelling squeeze while he squeezes some sort of blanket or his cameraman to keep him safe in the back seat there. He is yelling someone's name. Something you absolutely should have considered before even getting in the car. Yes, you should be considering jumping out, but this is all for content, so jumping out was never the option, of course. I hate this kind of driving as well, because there's so little skill that goes into it. It's just finding patterns. You're just jumping around the freeway, just finding gaps in traffic that you can fit through. There's not really any skill to it, and you can really see it in the way that they change lanes. These guys are not going slow. They're really carrying a significant amount of speed, to which, where, as we've seen in a lot of these other instances, you can really throw around that weight of the car and get into a situation that you can't recover. Even ignoring the vast amount of other cars that you can hit that you can't predict out there. Even fully ignoring that, saying that these guys are all just moving obstacles, we're going to give it the biggest benefit of the doubt. All these cars on the freeway are props. It still is terrible driving. They're cutting up this traffic, they're sitting in the lanes, and you can see, especially with the Mercedes that the POV car here is chasing, there's like 50% of the instances where they go to merge to the other lane, they're like throwing the wheel into the other lane. There's no smoothness whatsoever. It is 100% jerking around that car, even if it doesn't really look like it on camera. It's really sloppy driving in a really unsafe manner. Just everything about this is absolutely terrible. And obviously the biggest one being that you're on a public highway and these aren't props. I'm saying props just to isolate that incident, but these aren't props. They are real people. There's 1.5 million things that could go wrong. and you're literally going straight on a freeway. You're not doing anything impressive while also being the most dangerous that you can be somehow.
Come on, bro, please, dude. Please, dude. Please, dude, no. The top's right there, Oh my god, he almost crashed. Stop, you're tripping.
Now that's where this video cuts off. I don't know how this ends or what continues on from here. For all I know, they wrecked. But a big teaching moment that I kind of want to touch on here, and something that I think a stream like this really leads people in the wrong direction on, is driving fast with passengers. Now, I'm completely isolating this to just driving with passengers in general. I'm not talking about driving in this situation or anything else. We're going to leave that completely up to interpretation. Just the concept of driving fast with passengers. There's one thing to driving with passengers where they're on board with it and they're having fun with it, same as you are. That's, take that up with God. It's fine with you. Then it's fine. But something that really irks me, that really gets blown up online because I think it's easier for views, is when the passenger is really freaking out at the situation. Now, obviously, in a situation like this, like I said, it is for content. This is for a stream. I'm still sure that this is a genuine reaction, and that this guy's actually scared for his life, and he fully has every right to be. I'm not discrediting his fear at all. I'm more so talking shit to the guy driving in this instance. Even if it's for content, having someone in the passenger seat who is legitimately scared of you and you're driving is something that I feel like movies and TV really hypes up as like, oh, like he's going fast, like he's a fast driver. And in some more isolated situations, like on a racetrack where it's a race car going like over 100 miles an hour, blah, 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 that can be accurate. But in a lot of instances, especially if it's like someone that you're kind of friends with and it's not like a PR thing, like someone that you like have some sort of relationship with, like people who would imitate this, it's not a good sign that you're driving with someone who's legitimately scared of your driving. Being able to drive fast while also making sure that it's fun and the person with you is comfortable, I think is kind of the best way to handle having passengers for your hobby, is that everyone's there having fun with you. You're not imprisoning people in your car while you race around. I've had plenty of moments in my time driving where I will ask them, I'll say like, hey, do you want me to slow down? Do you want to pull back into the pit? Like, I'll ask if they're comfortable. And sometimes they say they are. And then in which case, they're just really not used to the situation, but they've given a verbal okay that they're okay with me continuing. It's just, maybe I'm overly formal with driving with passengers, but I just find the whole situation to be a lot more enjoyable when the people driving with you are also having fun, not just being afraid and being stuck there because they obviously can't, jump out of the car or anything. It's just not fair to them. But that was the last video here. Just wanted to kind of keep rolling through on these videos. Once again, really happy with the result that the first video gained and all the positive support that's come in from it. I really want to keep doing this. I really want to be consistent with these videos and give you guys fun stuff to watch. Hope you guys can stick around and keep supporting me through this. It's been really nice, this initial comeback that you guys have given me. But I'll see you guys later.